And it's time for the LIV Golf post-game show. Well, I'm delighted to say that Scott Vincent has joined David Fairty and myself. Scott, many congratulations. Where does that rate, 15 under par, fourth place, where does that rate in your career so far?
Yeah, that's really up there for me. It was an incredible week, incredible day, highlighted by yesterday, of course, with that amazing round of golf. So, yeah, this is, cloud nine for me right now.
Cam Smith assured me the other day in a conversation I had with him that no one's going round in 62 in this course until you did yesterday with 9 birdies. What was the secret to that success yesterday?
I don't know if there is a secret for something like that. It's just one of those days where you kind of point and shoot, and that's where the ball goes, and then you get on the greens and you're like, yep, that it feels about this big, and the putts just go in. And yeah, it's one of those days that we all wish we had a lot more and could bottle up and use as often as we'd like. But yeah, it's nice when it does happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more happening in your future the way you were playing there.
Yeah, if you can find a bottle of that, please send it my way. Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of your highlights here, Scott. So firstly, why did you keep the flag in the hole for all your putts?
Yeah, for me, that just, it gives me something to aim at. I feel like I do make more putts with the flag in.
I agree with you. You know, I think that everyone should leave it in. If Bryson DeChambeau did an experiment on it where he showed me that it worked, but now even he doesn't do it.
That was for birdie at 8. This is your second shot at 9.
This one worked out really good.
You can say that again.
Wow.
And then for birdie at 18 to round off a terrific week. Was there ever a moment today that you thought, I may be in a chance with watching this? I may be within a chance of winning this tournament?
Yeah, there was a couple moments like that. But I just had to keep my head down and keep plugging away. You just never know what's happening behind you. And I try to not look at the leaderboards. So I really didn't know where I stood,
right.
And I figured that's the best way for me to play my best. So, yeah, close. A few shots short, but still a fantastic week.
They're rooting for you from Harare, Zimbabweans in Chicago, fans of the Asian Tour as well.
That's amazing.
I thought you did a great job of staying in the moment, you know, taking each shot, you know, one by one, you know, staying in the present. Was that part of your, you know, your MO?
Absolutely, that's one of the biggest things that we try and work on is just be present, just hit the shot that's in front of you, and that's all you can really control. So not trying to get too far ahead or behind, and just, take it for what it is in front of you.
Just take us back to last June, or maybe it was just the tail end of May. You're at Slaley Hall in the International Series, weren't you? Up in chilly Newcastle in the northeast of England, where you won the tournament to get into the first LIV event. Could you ever in your wildest dreams have imagined that you'd be here, 4th place, challenging with Brooks Koepka, with Taylor Gooch, with Sergio Garcia in Singapore?
It's incredible to when you put it like that, and this journey that we've been on. But my psychologist always tells me to dream big. Why not? You know, just shoot as high as you can. And yeah, this is incredible. It's amazing to play on this tour with these caliber players and compete with them. And yeah, it doesn't happen often, but this is a great week for me to compete with some of the best.
Well, and a day like today has got to make you feel great and feel that you can win out here.
Yeah, today was something special. I'm going to hold on to this and dissect it a bit more over the next few days and talk it over with the rest of my team. But yeah, a lot of positives to really build off from this week and hopefully use that going forward.
And from a practical perspective, I suppose, some serious amount of points towards finishing in the top 24 to guarantee that you'll be with us next year as well. But the Ironheads didn't quite pull it off in terms of a podium finish. It looked like it might be likely at one point, but fair play to Siwon Kim. That was a terrific shot, his 4th at the night. That was a par, by the way. And then Danny Lee for birdie at 4. Kevin Na, the captain, for birdie at 2. You were flirting with the podium for quite a while in the team competition, Scott. This is Kevin Na for eagle at 4. The Crushers, though, I mean, they had a sensational final day. They were 20 under par today alone, so they've taken 3rd place. Danny Lee for birdie at 13, and then Siwon, who was under par for his tournament after a tricky season so far, so that's great to see Siwon finding some form. That was his 3rd at the 7th. How about that? C1 sending them in from all angles. What's it like being part of a team that is led by Kevin Na?
It's incredible. I'm so grateful to be on this team. We have such a good chemistry with all of us, and a lot of good dinners and time spent together, and it's just really fun. And Kevin's a great captain for us, and so the whole experience of being on Team Ironheads is great, and I think this team has a real good chance at challenging a podium again. We're definitely trending. It's great to see Siwon playing well again.
Yeah.
We know how good he can play. He showed us last year by qualifying himself for this this tour again. So to have him firing on all cylinders is great. That puts us in a really strong position.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see Siwon Kim playing so well here this week. Scott Vincent, I can tell you, you have moved to 21st in the overall standings out of 48-50 players that have played so far, which is great news. And keep that going, and you'll be here for a very long time indeed. What's it like having your brother here as well? Because he was one of the reserve players, wasn't he, Kieran?
I actually congratulated him yesterday for shooting 62.
From a distance under the floppy hat,
Yeah.
you do look very similar.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the first to get us confused. So probably not the last either, until one of us cuts our hair.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is, he said thank you, didn't he, as well? So he took all the credit for it. Cheering on Ironheads GC and Scott Vincent from Pennsylvania. Excited to see him doing so well. You won't find a nicer person. You've got fans all over the world, Scott, and I think your fan club is growing by the week as well. And then we go to the United States next, to Tulsa. You went to Virginia Tech, played some college golf there, didn't you? So you're very familiar with the terrain out in the United States, aren't you?
Yeah, very much, and I'm excited that we have a few tournaments that are going to be close to Virginia Tech. Hopefully get some Hokie fans out there. Yeah, West Virginia is kind of not far away, and neither
Hokey
is DC.
or Okie?
Hokey pokey. A bit of both.
That's what I thought, yeah.
What was it like out there in your three ball today? You were with Tringali, with Cameron Smith as well, and going off in one of the featured groups. What was the psychology going into that for you?
It was great. I always try and take these opportunities to learn, and obviously any time you play with someone like Cameron Smith as well as Cameron Tringali, there's so much to learn, because he's a world-class player. Both of them are, and yeah, just kind of watching how they operate and the things they do under pressure, and just a great opportunity for me to kind of pick their brains and see what they're thinking out there and how they're going, how they go about their business. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, obviously had the loud roars right behind us, so we knew that those guys were playing well, and we had to step on the gas. But all in all, great experience.
Well, I think maybe they learned something from you today. I really, they did. I mean, you hit so many beautiful shots, it's one after another, and it was really just that rain delay didn't do you any good.
Yeah, you never know coming out of something like that actually shifted my whole round when we had the previous rain delay a couple days ago. I went out and birdied 2 of my last 4 holes, so that completely shifted it for me. So yeah, you never quite know what you're going to get. It might be the very best thing for you, and so that's what I was holding on to, and yeah, it's just the way it worked this time.
Well, you've talked about being a member of the Ironheads team and how everyone supports each other within that team framework. What about the broader picture of 48, the world's best golfers who travel the world together? Have you found everybody approachable? Have you picked any brains out there? Because these are some of the all-time greatest golfers that we've got at LIV Golf.
Yeah, very much. I try and pick as many people's brains as possible. Just at one of the delays, I was chatting to Phil what he thought about Whisper Rock, and so picking his brain about that course, because he obviously designed one of the courses there, and just to get his feel of that being a base. So yeah, I use any opportunity I can to pick each other's brains. But yeah, everyone's so friendly and so good out here, and I don't know how many high fives I got walking in the locker room. So it's nice to see that we obviously compete against each other, but at the end of the day, we're very happy for when people do well.
Yeah, you certainly celebrate each other's success, as we saw with Garcia and with Taylor Gooch a few moments ago. Scott, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So soon after your final round, and we're going to see a lot more of Scott Vincent going forward. This is the individual season-long leaderboard. Taylor Gooch, as you would expect. Out in front, 92 points. Peter Uline, 73 points. Charles Howell III, very, very solid indeed on 69 points. And there's Scott Vincent on 25 points. The top 24 guaranteed to play LIV Golf next season. So those are the stakes for our field out there. And we're just about finishing things off here in Singapore as we take a look down the individual season-long standings. Some players with some work to do. Taylor Gooch out in front. I wonder if we can take a look at the team standings. Well, maybe we'll save those for Tulsa. A brilliant, brilliant Championship Sunday. Taylor Gooch, history maker, the first man to win back-to-back LIV Gold titles, victorious in Adelaide, now in Singapore, and the Range Goats win for the first time. Celebrations for Bubba Watson et al. Thanks for joining us from Singapore. We will see you in Tulsa in less than 2 weeks' time.